Hi guys.
Uh,
Hi everybody. Welcome to Drop Jewels episode 2. I'm Jade.
hey guys, it's Tacombla. Welcome back again. Thanks for joining us one more time this week.
Right. How was your week, T? How are you feeling?
So I'm feeling pretty good. I had a pretty good week. We went again to Bath House on Friday night. Got our little relaxation time in. That was nice. Um, how was your week?
My week was busy. It's a lot of focusing on keeping the new business up and running and then having a part-time job on top of that. So it's just a lot of work, 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 work. Yeah, just a lot
Oh,
of
I didn't talk about all the work stuff because it's like, that's all scratch. I'm just gonna talk about the good parts.
Uh, I would love to just focus on the good parts, but honestly, it was more work, work, work than a lot of anything else. There wasn't a lot of besides Friday. I think that was our fun was going to, like I said, we went to Bath House. You're crazy with going into the cold plunges. You can find me in the
I love
sauna.
it.
Yeah, no, find me in the heat. Find me in the 103. Even though I couldn't even stay in there that long, but find me in the 160-degree sauna sweating out all the impurities.
You're supposed to stay in the sauna for as long as you can and then jump into the cold plunge, and it feels amazing.
I mean, I think they have a pool that's like 60 degrees too. That one's cool. I'll do that one. You be in like the
At
30
Bath
degree
House?
pool. I think it's one there like 50. It's like a warmer one. It might
Yeah,
not
there's the
be.
50,
Yeah, I'll get in that
and,
one.
and there's a 50 and a 44-degree one. I go from the sauna to the 50-degree one, and then I jump into no, I go from the sauna to the 44-degree one, and then into the 50-degree one, and it feels so much better. Yeah, but I'm crazy like that, so
I'm glad you said it and not me.
I
Um,
knew it was coming.
yeah, because that's a little bit in freaking insane for me. So yeah. Did you hear any thing back from the last episode? What was your responses back about whether people would rather be, excuse me, miseducated or uneducated?
And well, I asked a few people. So it was the settings I asked these people in. So one person who is someone who I admire their thinking, they did agree with me
Mm-hmm.
that they would rather be and well, I asked them at church as well, and they said they would rather be uneducated than miseducated too. Like, um, then I had my homeboy who I asked, and he said that he would rather be miseducated. And yeah, so for me it was 2 for 3.
Oh,
Um, 2 out of 3.
that's cool. I had did a poll on my personal Instagram about it as well, and it was about, I think one person had said uneducated, but then when I went in and asked them why, their response was literally like the second word in the response was, well, miseducated people. So it wasn't really like, while though they said they would prefer to be uneducated, it was more so they would have preferred to be uneducated because they felt that miseducated people be loud and wrong. And they would prefer not to be loud and wrong. And so I was like, I mean, I hear that. I understand that, but in the case both people would be loud and wrong. Um
Mm,
and
I disagree.
But wouldn't they both? I mean, if you're uneducated and miseducated, clearly we both ultimately we're saying that we lack the actual knowledge, or we lack the actual information. So
Well, I don't think the uneducated is loud and wrong because someone who knows that they don't know will come a little more humble rather than the person who thinks they know something,
ooh,
because they're gonna come a lot more rah rah because you
because they feel
think you
like they
right.
know it. Yeah,
Yeah, I've been that kind of parent before.
that makes
I've
sense.
come in the room yelling at my child for something that I thought I knew he did, and I was dead wrong. And it's a humbling experience.
Oh, that is true.
We've all been that person.
Yeah, that's true. Accusing people of stuff. that you assume that they did when they didn't, because you don't know all the facts.
And you swear by God that what you're saying is the truth.
In some
Like,
cases, absolutely. In some cases, this is to be true. OD true.
not to, but you remember on and on when Erica Badu said, "The man that knows something knows that he knows nothing at all."
Mm.
It's like I really don't know much,
Because it's always
but what
definitely
I think
something
I
to
know,
learn. It's not really true,
yeah,
and I really don't know what I don't think I know.
yeah. So I rather keep, because to be uneducated, it possesses some ignorance. I mean, like some, and not ignorance in a bad sense. It's ignorance in a like an innocent way.
I mean, but then that's
It's more
naivety.
of an innocence.
That's more naive, being naive than. Um,
There are some things that I'm naive about. There's
that's
some
true,
things
but
I've never come across.
that's good. That's, I mean, and that's honest. And I think that is like, we don't all know what's happening in the world. Like, we don't all know, um unless you are actively searching for it. There's a chance that you don't know what's actively going on and happening outside in the world, because that's not what people be looking for. Like, for instance, did you hear about the guy who had the 74 migrants living in his basement of his Queens furniture store?
No, I didn't, but you're gonna tell me about it, right?
Yeah, so it was this man, and he basically was on the news, pulling at the heartstrings, saying how he decided to house these migrants from the same country as him, because there was really nowhere for them to go.
And where was he from?
Senegal.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he said that he was housing these migrants in his furniture store basement because, again, there was not adequate housing for all the migrants that we have in New York, which, I mean, is kind of accurate. Actually, I don't want to say it's kind of accurate. I think we have more than enough housing. I think that they just choose to have, a lot of landlords choose to keep their apartments uninhabitable, like, so that they don't have to charge, market rate, because we have more than enough empty apartments in New York. But anyway, he
But yeah, that's another topic in
tough for
itself.
another
Because
day. Yeah.
yeah,
So he was charging these migrants $300 per person, and in that $300, it was supposed to be for food. I believe he said that he did feed them. He did have meals provided, breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. It didn't go into detail as far as like what the breakfast, lunch, and dinner was, but for food and to maintain the place.
I mean, on one hand, I want to believe that he was doing it from the right place, especially considering that they're from the same country,
Hmm.
and the immigrant story, like, there's various stories for people who come to this country to try to hash their life out, and it's not glamorous at the it starts. So I want to believe that he was trying to help, but like, how much was he charging them?
It was $300, so he was roughly making anywhere between 21,000 and $22,000 a month. But then, right? And so, I mean, granted, but he said that was going to maintain the place. When the Department of Business inspectors went, they basically was like, "Hey, you don't have great plumbing, you don't have great ventilation, you don't have um this is not habitable for all 74 of these people to live here." Like, there was no actual maintenance done or improvements done in which he can actually house these people where they're living, like, humanely. I mean, granted, I know that they say they're limited on shelters, and not everybody wants to be stuck in a shelter. And if the shelters are anything like Rikers, then I too would not ever want to be stuck in a shelter. Um, but it's still like, which is better, living in a
Because
shoddy basement, where at
it
a,
might be better in the shoddy basement.
well, okay.
Because in the shelters, people are getting robbed, people are getting, mugged, all kinds of things. And not to say, the shelters ain't safe. The detention centers where they throw our kids ain't safe. And the only thing I can imagine is these, what were they, 79
I think
Senegalese?
74.
74 Senegalese immigrants with, and I'm assuming because there are a lot of Senegalese immigrants right now, and the man is from Senegal himself. They would rather be in that basement together amongst community people who speak the same language. They don't have to really worry about certain things,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to being caught in our city's institutions, which are, they on paper they'll go and say, "Oh yeah, the plumbing ain't good here," but you ever seen NYCHA housing?
Mm. Just as bad. If not be worse.
Look at the
Lead paint in the ceiling. I mean, in all the walls. Plumbing don't be running. Rats and roaches going away. They
I
complain. Still rats and roaches running. It's not habitable. You're right. So
I
you're
have a
right. It
friend who's
might.
an electrician for NYCHA, and she said one day she went down into the basement to go fix some stuff, and she opened the door and there was a wall full of cockroaches when she turned the lights on.
That's gross. That is
And we talking
absolutely.
about
You're
you
right.
know,
So it
you
might
know.
in the choice it might be better to stay with community in a dank basement than being in a shelter with no one that possibly speaks your language. That's true.
Yeah, so I mean, I would want to see more of the details of it.
Got you. Like what kind of food that he was serving? What
Yeah,
did he
like
say?
what was, because maybe that going to buy the cultural,
But
maybe most of them are probably Muslim. They probably have a halal diet. Maybe he was
true, but
catering to
do
all
you
those
think?
things.
And I mean, honestly, and I understand we're in a recession right now, regardless of if the overlords want to actually put the title to what's happening. But with us actively being in a recession, do you necessarily think that he would have been able, that he was using all $22,000 to provide for that, or was there less going to them and more going into his pocket? Because I
I
don't. I mean, honestly, granted, I too run a business, and I see how much the daily, I mean monthly, liabilities are. But my thing is, do you really believe, or do you assume that his liabilities were to the point where he needed to charge $22,000
how much you spend a month on food?
on food? Um, I don't even know.
Food is expensive, bro.
At this point, I hardly eat. I be eating once a damn day, which I know is not healthy. But I
That's what
just, and that's not even.
that's why I'm opening a farm.
I about to say, and I don't even think it's because of one, my appetite just don't be like that. And then when I do get hungry, I want to eat a big enough portion in which I can eat all in one sitting. But hey,
I went to the supermarket the other day and paid 350 for one pepper.
and we're in a recession. They not gonna want to say it so,
So,
but that don't make no sense. Pepper should be 90 cents if that high.
like this is these food, like, so for me to make my food colorful, it's gonna cost me more money. And I'm feeding two people, and I know my grocery bill be high. So you talking about grocery, electric, water, preparation of the food or whatever other enhancements it's probably not 100%, but like, I honestly, the people who have had NYCHA housing for how long, and it still look like that, and y'all get the taxpayers' dollars, and the Van Wyck look like that for how long, and y'all get the taxpayer. Yeah, I'm not really mad at the Senegalese, man.
Get it how you get it, right?
Yeah,
Get it how you get it.
they all
I
crooks.
mean, well, I mean, the thing is, he was complaining how there was no space for them to go, but they literally bust all of them to a migrant shelter together. Um, but let's see what happens. Let's see if this is something that they end up bringing charges. I don't know if it'll be that, strong, but I mean, they didn't really interview any of the people who were there.
Yeah,
Um,
I would want to hear their experience
yeah,
too.
because it all means nothing that we say will matter if they're like, no, 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 I'll go back tomorrow and pay them my little $300. Then nothing that we say matters. But
Because,
yeah,
like, okay, I'll even use this, maybe even like a different example, but you can take people from a certain place and say you're going to help them and you do more harm. I think there are kids who get taken away sometimes, and not all the time. Sometimes our system doesn't step in when it's supposed to, but then sometimes they take people's children and put them in the system, and the system don't do them no good. So like taking these people and shipping them, is that their will? Did they want to go? I want to hear. I just want to see what the whole story is.
Yeah, I would love to hear from the recipients or the residents who were living down there to hear um, their point of view and whether or not, they felt like they were being exploited or if it's something that they would have preferred or still prefer, especially now after seeing what the shelter life is possibly like, which way was easier for them.
Yeah, because I could be completely wrong, but I just want to see more sides to it, because that's very 74 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had to have some choice in staying down there.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, but hey, I guess we'll see if more information comes out. I'll probably keep a little alert on there to see whether or not any information that they find a person that's willing to speak. Yeah, who knows? I'll bring that back up later on if I find out any more information. What about you? What other news have you heard that you don't think that we heard that we need to hear?
Well, actually, apparently the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee requested that the government declassify military docs related to some mess Russia got going on in the space.
Oh God.
So up in space, there's like a arms race where Russia right now is trying to destroy United States satellites, partially because Ukraine was using our satellites, to communicate during the war. So now they're kind of like, okay, this war is still going. Let's find a way to destroy the satellites. And if you're not kind of creeped out just by the idea of Russia, China has satellites, or some kind of nuclear weapons up in space, where they can actually grab onto American satellites and destroy them in space. So yeah, that's what's going on.
I'm sorry. Did you say that the humankind are no longer worried about blowing up just everybody on the actual rock that we're floating on? They now want to go interrupt space with their bullshit.
I I said the Transformers is up in space grabbing shit and breaking them, and getting ready to, announce to us that we're in World War III, like we don't already know that.
My thing is, when is it enough that we take men out of control and in leadership positions? Because all these motherfuckers know how to do is war.
Now they up there playing with Xbox toys.
What are we doing as a society and as a humankind? What is actually happening that this is the sole focus on life is to colonize the world and to be like, oh, we're just gonna disrupt everybody else's personal life and quality of life and happiness. Why can't the most society just be? We just trying to exist. We just trying to see the sights and live life and meet new people. Why do we have to be concerned with the cruel overlords trying to destroy us all for their own financial and personal gain? What are we doing as a society and as a
We're
humanity?
standing by idly and letting it happen.
These are just men. Like I get it. I get that society has belief in this whole government idea, but ultimately it's just a fucking man deciding that, hey, I think it'll be a great decision to put a fucking bomb or a fucking satellite grabber in space so that we can disrupt the quality of life of everybody fucking else. Like the audacity. Why are y'all not just going to have fun? Why
And
is this what we're about?
this is funded by our tax dollars.
That we have no say in. Where's what did J. Cole has said it in one of his freestyles about how we need to have a app or something where I say where my money goes, because I mean, but I feel like if that was really the choice, most people would not have their money in war, because are we fucking still stupid? And it's rhetorical because clearly we are. Because why are we still having one, physical wars, two, sending 16, 17, 18-year-old people to war, so much so that they are not even believing in the bullshit that you tell them no more?
I think it's because most Americans, the average American, is working. Like you said earlier, most of your week, work, 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 work. That's where your thoughts go, to work. The average American doesn't have the leisure time to really pay attention to where their tax dollars are going
Mm.
and the allocation of their money. That's another job in itself.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, our paid government officials are not representing us in the way that we need to be represented, and we won't stop to say, hey guys, yeah, this is not working for us, because we're caught in the machine. We're caught on, most of us, on the hamster wheel. We are voluntarily picking slavery. Every time we say we don't have time to pay attention, we don't have time to stop and read, we don't have time to try to be inquisitive about what's going on, we are participating in the system that has created slaves, that has
Yo,
fractured humanity.
it's so true. I'm just thinking earlier today, right? I was so on Twitter. And I don't give a fuck that Elon Musk has bought it and changed it. I'm gonna continue to call it of what it was when it was at its shining glory. And so on
Mhm.
Twitter, right, I'm still happy that even though he's allowed so much misinformation to spread and all real checks be gone, but you're still able to see what's going on in the world if you follow the right people. Um I was on Facebook the other day, and boy, you wouldn't even know there was a genocide happening if you're over there because you don't nothing, not a thing. So it's just like, how is? But again, I guess to your point of everybody's busy, everybody is at work. They don't have time if the information is not front page news or it's not learned, and a lot of people are not going to seek out bad news because for what?
And because also, again, the miseducation makes it easy to ignore,
Mm.
because, like, I don't have to see that because that's not what I was taught. So now I'm gonna, what you're saying is not true. Fake news, fake news, fake news.
Not fake news. Not fake
Hello,
news.
America. The miseducation are not just the Negro, the American. We are, sadly, we think we know it, or we think we're the center.
I think that's because that's how they've raised us to be. America has
Hmm.
this individuality thing about us, where it's America first. That was Trump's tagline too, right? America first. That's some
Hmm.
shit. America
Whatever
first.
that means.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that meant. Oh boy, you about to get his pair of his gold Trump ones?
What Future say? Dress it up and make it real for me. Whatever that fucking means.
Yeah, Lord
Like,
fucking hell with that. Um. Okay, so this question of the week is, whew, it is,
do
do
you feel
you, oh,
do you feel that the fear of looking stupid ever kept you from pursuing your dreams?
and so for that, I will say yes when it comes to romantic dreams. Um, I think as sometimes I am a hopeless romantic, so the narrative that I will build in my head about, the person or the relationship in which I see, um, it's really good, right? It'll be like beautiful and roses and so nice. And so, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to them because this dream is gonna come true. It's gonna be just like this. And that's how it was for a little bit until I realized, girl, that is not how it goes. Like, just because you are thinking fucking skips and rainbows and flowers, that's not how it always is, especially from someone else. Like, it might not be reciprocated. And so after that, I think that's probably the only time that it's like, all right, I'm not about to be, in a sense, vulnerable when it comes to relationships of putting myself out there and then you gonna be out here looking crazy. Because now in these days, it don't, it's not even just a simple I like you, let's call it a day. It's a they don't like you, then they want to start making fun of you. They want to talk about you. Like it always be something else to it. And granted, I know that's not always the case, but that's what it
Mhm.
was. And so that's probably one of the things that is still to this day. Like I still might, I might not shoot my shot because of the fact that, oh, nah, you're not about to embarrass me, or I'm not about to embarrass me. But
Yeah, I don't think that's yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think it's a difference between, the fear of looking stupid and keeping you from pursuing your dreams, or recognizing that somebody is treating you stupidly.
mm,
If that makes sense. Like me pulling away from a person who is not showing me interest is not me being a, because I think in the, if we're going to talk about it in that sense, I didn't mean to go there, but like from a dating standpoint, if we like each other, it don't have to be this complicated.
that's my thought process.
Like,
And I guess that's the biggest is if it does become complicated, then I'm like, oh nah, no, thank you.
so I don't think that's a fear. I think that's just recognition of, okay, you told me you don't like me, so I'm staying away, because this whole if the boy hits you narrative, he likes you. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that, guys. But
I hope that's not what they still telling the folks, because I know that was one of the ways that they, growing up, they'll be like, oh, if the boy is mean to you, it's because he likes you. It's a very it doesn't do love any justice, and I don't think it helps with like allowing women to really, how can I put this? Um, I think if when we start telling girls, oh, allow them to be mean to you, and that shows that they like you, I think it's very disingenuous because it's like, why would you be mean to someone you like?
or even the idea of not so much being mean in a sense, but yeah, being mean, the whole idea of a ride or die.
Oh, we not going.
Yo, you purposely throwing me through the ringer. It's one thing if it really come up, but you putting me through tests to see.
That's the big one. I mean, speaking of tests, I had a gentleman who once was just like, "You don't fight. Like
Yeah,
you don't fight." And my response to him was, "That's unnecessary because it wasn't like you was like these fights weren't real. These are fights that you just made up right now just to see that if I was going to fight with you, bro. I have other things to do. Like they
boy, if people gonna fight, they gonna fight over the wrong shit. What if we could fight towards some shit, but you want to fight over stupid shit? That don't make sense.
Yeah, like you just want to fight for the sole sake of, oh, let me see if she's gonna fight over me, if she's gonna fight, bro. First of all, why would I want a man that's gonna make me fight over him? Does that make sense? Why would I
Who's not
want to put
gonna
myself
create a
in that?
comfort zone?
Hello, why would I put myself in that? Oh, he want to make sure I can fight, bro. Fuck you. Why you not the fighter? Why I gotta be the fighter?
Like, yeah, nah. No, we not doing that. We not doing. So I don't think that's a fear of looking stupid. That's just recognizing that, yeah, I'm not going to battle. Love is not a battlefield.
Yeah, it's not. But yeah, I would say that's really it. I don't when it comes to like work and when it yeah, work and life experiences, that doesn't really stop me. I will jump into shit feet like head first, like because of the fact that I really feel like I'm confident in that a lot of the things that I dream, especially for myself, they come true. Um
Hmm.
they've been like for the most part if it's a dream that I said, this is what I want to do, what I want to accomplish, I, for the most part, have got it. I don't think, I'm trying to think as of right now if there's one thing that I can remember at the top of the head that I can say was a dream that I said I wanted that I really didn't achieve, besides in the sense of dreaming of dealing with people. Um, yeah, no. Cause I'll be like, no, fuck that. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from doing what I want to do. I'm a, I'm gonna get that done.
Well, for me, I can say, yeah, the fear of looking stupid has kept me from pursuing dreams, and I've recognized it and I've changed it. But yeah, I do think um most people, and again, I'm gonna go back to the, kind of the miseducation. I think people think the they believe that it's supposed to look a certain way. Like, and it makes people not want to try because they don't want to look stupid. So like even something as simple as I like to work out, go into the gym. I know for a fact that a lot of people stay out of the gym because they're afraid of going to the gym and looking like they don't know what to do. Of course, you're gonna look like you don't know what to do. You're not a regular goer.
Yeah.
You don't go.
Yeah.
So if you go somewhere for the first time, you're gonna look like a sore thumb. And I think we have been conditioned, especially if you grew up in the hood, if you grew up in certain environments, not to try. Because it's like, look at you, stupid. You thought you was better than us. Why would you even try that? It's harder to jump when you don't feel that you have the safety net.
I
Because for me to jump, I have to be vulnerable. I have to be in an environment for me to trust that I'm gonna get off the boat. That if I ever start sinking, you're gonna pull me up. There's a lack of faith sometimes that goes into it. So yeah, I've had a lack of faith and had the fear of looking stupid before. Not anymore though.
she's like not anymore though. Um, Interesting. Okay. Um, I guess to get into tune with really this episode, that kind of goes into what changed, like what allowed you now to get out of that. What did you do differently? Excuse me, what do you do differently now that allows you to not feel like you're going to be stupid if you do something? What is it now?
I slow down and I give myself the things I need when I need it. I listen to myself. I'm not listening to everybody else. I'm not listening to everybody else's opinion about what I should be doing, how I should be doing it. I For me, it may sound cliche, but I pray more. I spend more time in meditation, and I recognize that I really don't have any control. So, you know, I give thanks to the universe, I give thanks to God, I give thanks to my ancestors because I'm living in someone's delusional dream right now. I'm living in a moment that my ancestors dreamed about, and I recognize that, and I've taken the time. I think that's something that for you to recognize that, hey, it's not that bad and I can do that, I can overcome. You have to take a moment to process where you are, where you currently stand, what you really have and what you're taking for granted daily.
I respect that. I respect that. You said something though, but you said something about delusional dreaming. What? Let's talk about that. What? Um, what's your definition of delusional dreaming?
I mean, my definition of delusional dreaming is literally envisioning yourself in a scene of a movie that you created, directed, and nothing could stop that dream from being fulfilled. Like no obstacle, no matter what takes place, a bomb could drop, it's still gonna happen. It's like it just has to, because that it delusional dreams are dreams of the gods.
Prophecies in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I like that. I would kind of agree with your definition of what delusional dream is. It's definitely about seeing yourself already obtaining what it is that you are trying to obtain. Um, it's actually having the speech already written out. It's funny. What's the actress? I can't think of her name right now, but the actress who's does a wonderful job in The Bear. Um, Someone had just did an interview with her and they asked her about what would you tell your younger self. I know she was basically, the interviewer was like, you probably never imagined that you would be here. What would you tell your younger self who never imagined that you would be here? And she was just like, let's for imagine for a second that I did know I was gonna be here, and if I can go back into time, then I actually wouldn't talk to myself because of the fact that, time, space, time traveler rules. So I was like,
Hmm.
huh, okay, girl, because ultimately, delusional dreaming is definitely seeing yourself in the room, seeing yourself with the award, before you actually have it. Do you have a delusional dream, that happened to you? Like, you was like, this is what I want to do. I saw it, and how, like, did it happen? And if so, what was the dream? When did you see it? And what happened? Like, how did it play out?
So my life has been daydreams. A whole bunch. I'm a big daydreamer. So like I would speak things and say like casually dream like, "Oh, I wish I could just, work from home and live a life like this." Like it's not necessarily at one it may sound simple now, like the life like right now I'm fully remote at work. I have a lot of flexibility in my schedule. I'm able to spend more time with my son. I'm able to spend more time with my mom, with my other family members. I'm able to talk with my friends more. I have I'm not rich, but I'm not living in poverty. Um I'm wealthy. I live a wealthy life, and it's because I feel like I recognize that, hey, when I was 6 years old, my delusional dream was, when I become an adult, I'm going to do things the way I want. And guess what? That dream came true. That I'm an adult and I do things the way I want. I speak how I want. I live life the way I want. I wake up every morning and it's a miracle. Every morning I wake up and I turn on my hot water and I jump out my warm bed and I look at my son and I'm like, this is the dream.
Amen.
And it's only gonna get better. So like I think just my everyday thinking how I look at life is a delusional dream.
Interesting. Okay. Um, I would say my right now, I would say my biggest delusional dream that I think I was able to do and it came true was when I was in culinary school.
Mhm.
It was my this is my basically my last year in culinary school, and um, I was sitting in my dorm room, and I was just like, I want to cook, but I want to be able to cook and travel the world. Like,
Mhm.
that was my goal. I want to get paid to cook and travel the world. I was like, I know that, that's what I want. I want to see the world and I want to cook. If I can do
Mhm.
both, then I'm gonna go do both, right? So I literally was just like, after I had that dream, I'm like, how can I what methods could get me to cook and see the world? Like, what are my options that will give me that output? And so from that, I was like, you could always go work and cook on a cruise ship, that's an option. But I'm like, I've never heard of anybody. Granted, I see people working on the cruise ships when I went, but I've never heard or seen anybody be like, yeah, I'm gonna just go apply to work for a cruise ship. So I'm not
Mhm.
even thinking that's something that it's a thought, but it's not really like, okay, this is for sure. But so I'm like, nah, this is the only way in which you can really go cruise, and I mean, this is the only way that you can cook and see the world at the same time. Like, ultimately. So at that point I was sitting in my dorm room and I was like, you know what, let me just go apply for cruise lines because fuck it. I mean, hey, that's the quickest way to get to my dream, the fastest. And sure enough, I applied that day and went on about my business. And I want to say it was like 4 months later, I received an email from some website that looked, I mean, some email that looked suspicious, like spam. But this is before they was going, as bad with the phishing and spam. So I saw the email and I checked it, and it was an interview to be a culinary, to do basically culinary on a ship I've
Mhm.
never heard of, but a ship nonetheless, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, sure. So I was like, especially if I get the interview and if I get past the interview, then the job is clearly for me. So regardless of where it goes, I'm able to complete my dream. So I did the interview. It was like 7 o'clock my time, and it was like, I don't know what time it was, wherever the hell she was. But it was early in the morning, and did the interview, and sure enough, they was like, congratulations, we're hiring you. We're gonna send you your itinerary shortly. So I'm like, okay, cool. I now I'm happy because I got the job, but I really don't know, all that is in store, all that is to come.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so a day or two go by, and I'm, let my mom know, like, hey, I got the job or whatever. I got a job on the cruise ship. I'm waiting for them to tell me my sail out date, and everything before I make a move, right? Sure enough, 2 days later, they sent me my information. They sent me my itinerary. I was supposed to be leaving in September. No, I was going to be leaving in August, and I would have had to met my ship in Istanbul, Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
But then they end up not needing me on that ship. So then they put me on a different ship where I only had to meet the boat in Boston,
Mm-hmm.
which I was like, great, because I don't want to be on a 19 or 17-hour flight by myself. Like that'd have been my first long ass flight. And I was like, yeah, no, Boston is fine. So went to Boston and got on that ship, and that ship ultimately took me around the world. And so I was just like, at that point, I was just, it was unstoppable. Like, Jay, if you really dream it and you're really committed to it, and you say something that is something that you really want to achieve, it can happen, and it can happen within shit. That was less than 10 months, I want to say, from the time I sat in my dorm room to the time I was actually sitting on my bunk bed.
I guess mine's is a little different because so I won't say when there was a certain point in my life in my late teens, 17, 18, 19, around those years, my dreams I felt were kind of deferred and I couldn't see past my situation. Like I've experienced homelessness and things like that, but um when I was like 18, I worked at the airport and I worked at JFK,
Mm-hmm.
and I was cleaning planes.
Okay.
And I hated the job,
Mm-hmm.
but I loved the benefits because I could fly for free.
Mm.
And at 18, that was like, like
Right.
I was like, okay, like I don't really like this job. I was going to community college at the time. Like this will work for now. Like, and it was, I hell at 18, all I wanted to do was go to Florida, go to freaking Miami, and like it wasn't. I just wanted to spend time with my friends, with my girlfriends. Like, let's jump on the plane and go. Hey, if it's just here and we don't have to pay the taxes, and because my little paycheck wasn't much, and I had to come home and give my mom money, and I ain't get financial aid at the time either. I was fine with my dreams weren't that big because I couldn't really see past it, but I still was able to be joyful about it. I think now I'm really dreaming. Like at 33, this is like the best time of my life.
Amen. Amen. I hear this. I hear that meme. It was a video that was going by with this man. He kept screaming to this girl, "Dream big, bitch. You dreaming too small.
Dream big, bitch.
Dream big, bitch. You dreaming too small." Was there ever? Do you remember there ever being a dream that someone told you that you should not pursue, that you should just give up on?
All of them.
Damn, what kind of people you got
All of
around
them.
you?
All of them.
What kind of people
Every
you got
last one of
around
them.
you?
Every last one. Scared people.
Yikes.
Scared money don't make no money. And in
Yeah, I know one.
sometimes our parents' way of thinking that they're protecting us ain't protecting us.
Nah, I feel like a lot of times people speak from their own experiences, right?
They
So,
speak from their fear.
um, I don't even necessarily say fears. Well, fears could be part of it too, but they speak from a lot of their own experience. So I've learned like real early is to go to straight to the source. So instead of instilling, like I said, is talking my dreams to people who haven't achieved what it is I'm discussing, right? I just try to talk to them. Whoever is already doing what I want to do, I want to go talk to them because in that way, they're giving me their tea. They're giving me their step by step ways and methods in
Mhm.
which they did to get to wherever they're at that point, whether they deem good or bad, they're still in a higher position than I would be. So I yeah, I tend to to go to the people who doing it already because Oh no, God forbid I tell somebody, oh, this is what I want to do, and they be like, yeah, nah, give up. Bro, when I tell you I'm deleting them so fast, so fast, how dare you?
It
I tell them,
see mine's
how dare
I
you?
guess it's like the perspective, because like now I'm a mom, so I understand. Like I'm not mad at my mom for how she did certain things, because that's all she had at the time.
Hmm.
But yeah, my mom definitely didn't like probably any of my jobs I had. My mom worked for the state for over 30 years working with
Hmm.
the mentally ill,
Hmm.
and I grew up in the nut house going to work with my mom. So
Understandable.
I I know what it's like to work with people at a certain capacity and what it takes to
Hmm.
deal with people at a certain capacity.
Hmm.
And my mother wanted me to go into that same. I wasn't opposed, but they don't get paid enough to do it in the way that is a humane way. They really don't get paid enough.
No,
And
you're getting paid a whole lot. That's to take care of someone who really and ultimately can't take care of themselves. It should be paid highly. They should be getting NBA numbers. No way, no way.
that,
But that's a different story for a different
yeah,
day.
but look how we treat school teachers. So there you go.
Again,
Um,
again, I
they just hire anybody too. So there you go.
because they don't care about education. Why is it always the first thing that ever gets cut? Like it's always quick to we're defunding education. How? How does that even make sense?
The school was garbage in the first
I
place. And
mean,
Lupe
granted,
Fiasco said something like that.
I understand that the school system is trash, but whose fault is that? And why is taking money out of it doing anything? In innocence, it's to harm. It's going to do more harm than good. And I thought y'all sole purpose was to do no harm. So it's just like I. But again, that's a different
Yeah,
conversation.
before we get caught off on the tangent, but
Yeah.
like yeah, my mother she wanted me to go into that same, and I took the test for the state. I got 100. I got called. I didn't do it. When I was going for JetBlue as a flight attendant, um, I got called for corrections at the same time.
Mm.
Everybody was telling me to take corrections, but everybody but my mom.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one time she was like, "I don't want you to do neither of them jobs.
Mm.
I don't want you on the plane. I don't. That's scary, and I don't want you going to jail."
Yeah, I definitely don't want you going to jail. That is
And
a
I was
horrible
like, "Well,
place.
I'll take the airplane over jail."
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I
don't.
did that.
Horrible, horrible place. Horrible road to have to play in society is to have to go to jail and not have to be in jail because that is a dark place in there.
Oh, they become tyrants in there.
Not always. I mean, some people are so pure spirited that they will continue to be pure and that they will be able to help those, they are there to help those less fortunate so they don't get diluted by the non help that the system is actually doing. They still stay
Mm,
firm to their morals. And it's
yeah,
not
that's
a
like
lot.
10%.
Yeah, it's not a lot of them, but they definitely get a pat on their back because that's fucking hard to be in a dark place and keep your light. And that fucking place is dark, no matter how much it look like all the public schools. It's still fucking dark.
But then you have the people who know better. Then you have the 80% of them, like what they say with the police department, the blue wall of silence. That's 80% of the police department.
Oh yeah, we all know
So
better. We all consciously know better. And that's why I say I don't want to insult your intelligence, but I will. Because are you actually dumb or are you playing dumb? And a lot of times people are playing dumb because you know for a fact if the roles were reversed, you would never want what's perpetrated against others to be perpetrated against you. But yet here we are. Here we the fuck are. You can go ask any white person if they want to be black, they will say no. Do you want to help change the causes that will stop you from wanting to be black? They will also say no. You feel me? So while they know what we're going through, they don't really care to change what we're going through. So,
so we got to care to change it ourselves. Like I'm not looking for their handouts no more.
oh,
I'm just
listen,
looking for
I, you can't,
motherfuckers to pay what they owe.
you can't,
That's
bro.
one.
I,
And
your kids
leave me
never,
alone when I do get it. Just leave me alone and leave me to get in it.
baby girl,
Don't come over on some hater stuff.
they're never gonna leave you alone, and they're always gonna come on some hater shit. So you always have to be prepared for it when it comes, and you just have to laugh at it when they say it because it's always some hater shit, and then you always just gotta be like, so have your kids came to see you lately? And then they be like, no, right? Yeah, I bet.
And
Yeah,
with
I'm
that
not
being
gonna.
said,
Your
I
kids
just
don't
pray.
even talk to you. So why should I? Your kids don't even entertain you, and they came from you. You think I'm about to sit here and listen to your bullshit? You should heal.
That's the don't listen to the dream killers. There's always gonna be a hater.
Listen, I mean, but they just be projecting, and that be the question. Are you projecting right now? I mean, I know you're projecting right now, but I hope you get through what you go through. And shit, that leads me to this. What is a piece of advice that you would give, not just to yourself, but to everybody, for that can encourage them to do more delusional dreaming to attain their dreams and yeah.
Like I said it earlier, we are living in someone's delusional dream. So when you really break that apart, like especially what's today? It's the last day of Black History Month.
Mhm. It is. It is.
Yeah, we living in somebody's delusional dream. Like our ancestors fought for us to have this moment right now, for me to walk around with my head low and come outside dressed all the time like I don't care about nothing. Like no, I'm happy. I'm happy to be right here where I'm at with these tools that I have, and I can fight back. I can bust back. I'm like, y'all ain't take the fight out of me yet. So, cause I'm living in somebody's delusional dream. My mother went to school with no shoes on her feet.
Mhm.
So I'm living somebody's delusional dream,
Shit.
you know?
I would listen. I'm right there with
My
you.
grandparents didn't have running hot water. So I know right now the things that seem like simple blessings to us, our ancestors fought for it. Like even they did a play at the church, and it was called The Past and Present Collide.
Hmm.
And one of the characters in it, they talked about Mary McLeod Bethune.
Okay.
And you
What's
have to
the?
think of what
I'm
she
sorry.
did to start her school in 1904.
Shout out to Mary McLeod Bethune. I stayed in the Bethune Annex at Howard University when I went. So Al, shout out to my girl. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because no, really shout out to
Shout
her.
out to my
Because
girl.
she was taking old crates to make desks and chairs, and rented a room for $11 a month,
A
which was a
lot of
lot of
money.
money in
A lot of fucking money.
1904.
A lot of fucking money.
She took part. She sacrificed for us to live in this moment, for people to learn how to read and write, for you niggas not to even want to pick up a book.
Mm,
Like, bro,
mm,
like, yeah, I got time to read. I
mm.
got time to keep one eye open like CVS.
I
Like,
mean, nah, it's not even that. I don't think that they got time to pick up you. Well, you right with the time to pick up a book because they read. It's just they reading the wrong shit. Like, spend 5 minutes reading a book. If you could spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes on fucking Twitter or on Facebook or on fucking Reddit or on fucking Twitch or on fucking wherever else got mad words that fucking cross the screen that come across the board. If you could spend mad time on that, you can actually read a book. And even if you don't, fucking get a library card and download Libby and read and listen to audiobooks where they got like your favorite rapper be writing. So like go listen to I don't know, who just came out with a book? Jeezy just came out with a book. Go listen to his book. But like do something.
because niggas don't want to analyze. They just want carbon copies of shit. If we really sat down and considered where we are, it's not perfect. No, it's not perfect.
No, we better off
But
than we were.
we are definitely living. Somebody is dreaming to be in our shoes right
Mm,
now. So for me to walk around feeling sorry for myself, nah.
yeah. But yeah, for this to be the last day of Black History Month, not bad. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst one.
Hmm.
It really wasn't with the worst one. But yeah, I would say, let's see, how can we end this up? What's a dream that you would like to share with everybody?
A
It could be,
current dream.
yeah, it could be for you, it could be for the world, it could be for the pod, it could be for anybody. But what's the current dream that you got?
A current dream that I got for the world is that we consider where we are in the dream, look around us, and realize that we got to come together to make the dream better.
Mm,
I should start rapping. Come together to make the. Ow, damn,
bars.
just like that.
What she said, mwah. No, that was no
Mm.
bars, right? What she say? Bah, ma bars. I gotta get back into. I don't not be listening. Was it mwah, no bars or was it mwah
They
bars?
listen. I don't know. They don't be
Um,
talking about nothing I want to listen to. That's
that's
part of the problem.
okay. Well,
What we
wow.
talking about?
Um, I mean, you know, it's women empowerment, it's women empowerment in some fashion. It just depends on the language they speak. I mean, it's all they be saying is get your money. I mean, hey, and I respect that, and don't let nobody play you. So I'm not gonna act like I don't. I be listening, and I be right there too. Like, yep, I'll say that shit and speak to them in
Yeah,
a way that they gonna get it.
I get it, but I'm not gonna excuse women the same way I'm not gonna excuse men. Cause yeah, I get it. We all gotta hustle, but what Tupac said, in the song, he is like, "I made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way, selling crack to the kids. I gotta get paid." Hey, well, that's the way it is. It don't gotta be like that, guys.
You're right.
We
That's a
don't have
choice.
to be doing sleazy shit.
That's
We
a
could just
conscious
come
choice.
together.
This is true. That is a choice.
Like I'm gonna one thing in order for us to change, and I'm this is not to say that our struggle is not hard, but our people have always held each other accountable. We not like them, bro.
Yo, we supposed to be better, and
We
we
not
keep
we
and we using
why do you
them
think
as the
we
gold
here because we
standard.
better?
Yeah, and using them as the gold standard is actually degrading us. It's actually making us less. It's dehumanizing us, honestly, because if they look at the shit that they condoning and that we supposed to be okay with condoning,
For
what?
profit. For profit, bro.
Yo,
Y'all niggas is lacing people drugs with fentanyl for profit.
listen, so no, they are not the moral high ground nor the moral standard. Like they, if anything, they are what not to be like, because look at what they have us fucking condoning. Um, but yeah, I would say a dream that I would have for everybody is I just dream we all make better choices. That lead to um grander outputs that lead to um that leads to a life of leisure and a life of fun and a life of
Yeah.
ease and a life of, um, when you're able just to breathe without having to worry. But yeah, I think that's it.
I think not to go off. I know we're ending it, but I think just based off of what you said, and just like in preparation for next week episode too, we can. What's your definition of leisure?
Um, shit, me is being on the beach is with a passion fruit margarita in my hand, hearing the sounds of waves crashing on the beach, and maybe kids laughing in the background, but in a far background. But with a book in my hand, or just being able to listen to music and being able to do whatever I want whenever I want without having to stop to worry or stop to have to do anything else than just be at peace.
Mm. I want to think about it, but if I could just say it quickly, I think leisure is just having time to do quality things with the people you love.
Mm. That sounds that sounds like that would be a great topic for the next episode to talk
So
about
we'll see you guys. We'll see you
leisure.
guys again.
Yeah, so I'm Jade. You can find me at S_S00KIE on just about everything.
And I'm Tacombla. Right now, I'm taking a little break from social media for Lent. But you could find me by my name. My Instagram name is Lucky Luciano _90. So you could find me there. But right now I'm off Lent, so just follow me when I get back on. I'll follow you back, and that's all I got.
All right, and then until next time, thank y'all for
Until next
listening
time,
and have a great week.
amen.
Miseducated, but then when I went in and asked, I mean, excuse me, one person has